Hi everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie, and today I am making 10 super cute Christmas tree DIY ornaments, and as always, I hope you enjoy the show. For this ornament, I started off by looking for a shape around my craft room that I could wrap the twine around. I think this measures about 4.5 inches. It might even be one of the Dollar Tree wooden squares. I think it is the one that they sell in packages, and that was just a good size for me. So I wrapped it around, and when I got it to a thickness where I thought it would work, I tied the top. And when you tie the top, you need to leave some extra hangover twine because you're going to be wrapping that up towards the top. We're making a tassel, but you're going to be wrapping it up towards the top to make the top part a little bit shorter. Otherwise, this ornament will look weird. And then I cut the bottom. I'm just cutting all the loops, and I'm going to give it a nice trim. And that's what we have when we're all done. But see how I wrapped that up higher so that the tassel part, the loop at the very top where it's not cut, is shorter? That's what you want. Now I'm taking some of the Dollar Tree burlap ribbon, and I just made a small loop, and we're going to glue it together with some hot glue. Next, I'm going to take the Dollar Tree twine and tie that into a nice bow and fluff it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue a wooden bead on the top of the tassel. So that's why you want that really small, because you're going to squeeze it together. See how my fingers are like really pinching? They're like losing blood supply there because I'm squeezing that so tight so that it looks like that. Next, we're going to be taking some of the mop head. You could use yarn for this. You could use whatever you want. I'm using the Dollar Tree mop head. I just took it apart because it comes apart into little like strands. And then I'm making some hair for this. We're making an angel, of course. So this is why you needed the chest part to be smaller, because it's her chest and you don't want it to be too big. It's so cute when it's done. Wait till you see. It's so cute. And of course the wooden bead is her face, and the little yarn can be hair. Again, whatever you want to use for the hair. The way I handle the back is just to loop it like you saw me do right there, and that creates a nice look in the back. And then of course I gave her a little haircut. I'm gluing her wings on. And we're going to add a little halo, I guess. And I decided to make this a primitive angel, so I wanted to stick with earthy themes like the forest, and she's brown. I kind of felt like the trunk of a tree, so I went with pine for her halo, and I'm just carefully putting hot glue around, gluing on that little piece of pine, and now I'm taking a permanent marker to give her some eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and hang her by looping it through. I didn't, you can do this before you glue her wings down. I just forgot to. So I just did it afterwards. It worked just fine. I'm going to glue it, and then you can see me push it under. I'm tucking it under. You can't see it. And that's pretty much it. We're all done. And she is so cute. Let me know what you think. For this ornament, I went ahead and grabbed 2 sticks from outside. That's just from a plant that I know doesn't have very many bugs. If you are worried about bugs, you can put your plants in a little tiny plastic container with an ozone machine and ozone it for about 20 minutes. And if the container is tiny enough, everything will be dead. So I started off by using one of these disposable plant pots that you get during summer at the Dollar Tree, and I just poked a hole on either side. And I used green moss. So at first I thought I would want the reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree, but I ended up changing my mind, which you'll see in a bit. So I did have to put 2 of these branches together to form antlers. We're going to be making like a little reindeer here. It's so cute. Oh my gosh, this is probably one of my favorites, definitely, in today's video. And I had to break them off, so I was just holding it up to the plant pot, measuring to make sure they would be long enough, and then I just broke them off. Now I'm removing the moss because I've changed my mind, and I'm showing you here, you could use a pool noodle, or you could just use foam that you saved from something else. This is from an Amazon delivery that I had, and I'm just putting it in there just to make it so it's a tight fit for the little antlers, which I will be gluing on the side inside the cup. Now I'm taking some of the Dollar Tree black wire, and I'm going to loop it through the holes that I poked. And then to hold the wire on, I'm just going to twirl it around my pen. You could use a paintbrush, whatever you want, to make little curly cubes. And then I'm going to pinch the top together, and I'm going to twirl that around as well. For this one, I'm using like a thicker skewer stick to make a little curly cube at the top. Next, I'm going to use some Spanish moss instead because I just thought that looks so cute for the head. It makes it look so adorable. And all you're doing here is just making sure that all of your foam is covered so you can't see it from the top. Next, I'm going to go ahead and glue one of the sparkly red pom-poms from the Dollar Tree on for his nose, and I am in love. Oh my gosh, I love this guy so much. Let me know what you think in the comments. Grab your tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to glue 3 of them together just like that, and then the 2 on the top just like that. And then we're going to glue the 2 onto the top in the middle of the 3. After that, I just gave this a quick coat of white paint. And for this next part, I'm showing you that you can absolutely use another tumbling tower block from the Dollar Tree if you want. It looks fine. I just decided to use a craft stick instead. So I'm cutting my craft stick with some little metal snippers, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that on the top at an angle and then paint that part black. And I'm painting the back of this as well. Next, I drew a really cute face on here, first with pencil because I'm not really a very good artist, so you can definitely do this. But once I get a face that I like, I go ahead and go over it with a permanent marker, and I'm using a permanent marker for the nose as well in the color orange. Then I took some lipstick from the Dollar Tree and gave it some rosy cheeks. I think this is a girl snow lady. I don't know why. It feels like a girl. It could be either, but I feel like it's a girl. And I'm taking the gingham print ribbon from the Dollar Tree in the red and black, and I'm just putting that around the top of the hat. Next, I'm using this little like greenery. It actually is from a spring pick from the Dollar Tree, but it had white tips, and I thought that was perfect because it kind of looks frosted and looks Christmassy. Kind of looks like mistletoe to me. And I glued that on the top, and then I added the snowflake, and I decided I definitely wanted frost on the top of her hat, so I did take some white paint and just frost her up a little bit on the rim of the hat and the top of the hat. Next, I took some of the Walmart twine because it's a little bit thicker, and I decided to glue it on either side of the top of the hat to hang this ornament. It came out really cute right there, and we're all done. Love this one. Let me know what you think. For this one, grab yourself a Dollar Tree pear, and we're going to decorate this really pretty. This is for all of you that love the posh glam look, like more of a sparkly look for Christmas. I thought I would throw one in there for you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and paint this with some chalk paint in linen white. Any white would work, and I chose chalk paint because it does have better coverage and a little bit of better adhesion. So I had started painting this with this brass paint initially without the chalk paint, and you couldn't see the brass at all. It was just too slippery. That's why I painted it white first, because it helped the brass adhere. So that was my first step, and I'm going to go ahead and blow dry it. And it wasn't pearlescent enough for me. It didn't have enough of that shine, so I did decide to go ahead and put some of the silver over it, and then we ended up with an absolutely gorgeous combination color. I don't even know what that is, but I'm in love. That is so beautiful to me. Look at that. It looks like something royalty would have. So I gave it a good blow dry, and next I'm putting some Mod Podge on the bottom, and I purposely went around in like little swirls, and I didn't make like a straight line at the bottom. I kind of did little mounds, I guess, and curves, because I wanted the glitter to have, you know, some variations. So I'm taking some white glitter, very fine, soft, tiny glitter, and that's what I did right there. And I just wanted to speed up the Mod Podge drying a little bit, so I went ahead and hit it with a heat gun, and now I'm taking some hairspray, and this is just to hold the glitter in place so that I can keep moving. If you want a more permanent hold, you should definitely use like a varnish or a polyurethane spray, but that's what I just did, and it seems to be holding just fine, so we'll see if it holds up here. And I decided this pear needs a leaf, but obviously I didn't want to just stick a green leaf on top. However, I did want some green peeking out because normally that's the color it would be fresh off a tree, but I wanted to add some glitz. So I grabbed this Dollar Tree ribbon right here that kind of sparkles naturally. I went ahead and covered my leaf, and I covered it on both sides and then just cut the ribbon around it so that it was the shape of like a sparkly leaf with a little bit of a green hue in the background. So just a heads up, I did make 2 leaves for this because I thought that's what would look best. And you'll see later I took one off. I just didn't like it. I thought it looked too heavy on the top. But for the next step, you're going to see 2 leaves on the top of the pear here. So I didn't want you to wonder like, hey, where did that leaf go? I did end up removing it, but this is a step that included the 2 leaves. You can see it. I'm just taking the Dollar Tree ribbon and I'm cutting little strips like little jewels. And I put a little bit on the top near the leaves right there and just let it dangle down. And now you can see I decided to remove the leaf and we just have those little jewels dangling down, and I did end up making a hanger for this out of that as well. I took some of the sparkly pine to add it on just for a little bit of extra sparkle at the top there, just 1 piece from the Dollar Tree. And then I wanted a clean line of separation between the glitter and the top of the pear that looks almost metallic. So I just went around with the ribbon up and down all the little curves really carefully using very little hot glue, and I made a separation. It looked beautiful, and then I made a little hanger, and this is what we end up with. For this one, I am using part of the Dollar Tree sign that I cut off for another DIY, and I'm using my little saw. If you are interested in this saw, it is tagged below my video and also in my description box, and it's very reasonable and it has made crafting life so much easier. I'm not trying to sell it, of course, but I'm being honest, it has made my life so much easier, as you can see. Anyway, I got this print off of Temu. It's so beautiful, and I found this at the Dollar Tree. I was super excited. It's an industrial strength glue stick, so I wanted to try it. I really didn't need it for paper. Regular glue stick would work, but I just wanted to try it. I was excited to try it, but I'm definitely going to try it on the hard to stick stuff next time to see how well it holds up. And I'm going to glue the part where it's like the picture into the center of that as much as possible. And I trimmed it because it wasn't quite even, by the way. That's why I used my saw. And now I'm just using the scissors to get most of the edge off, and I'm going to clean it up with a nail file. But I did take my nail file, you'll see me do it, and like rub up on the top. I turn it kind of flat right there, and I rub up on the top on purpose to kind of try and file some of the actual print off of the top of the board as well to make it look a little bit more antiqued. This is perfect for those of you that love vintage or Victorian or even primitive Christmas decor. This is a perfect ornament for that. And you could use cardboard for this too if you cover the back with material. It doesn't have to be a Dollar Tree sign, but I love making ornament. In fact, one of the little tricks I did, you guys, is I used to take Christmas cards that were precious to me, and I would glue the picture on the front and like whatever my mom wrote or whatever on the back and Mod Podge it, and it would be a permanent memory for me on the tree that way. It's a fantastic way to preserve something that's really precious to you in a decorative way forever. So, I did the same thing for my son in 3rd grade. He had to make a Beatrice Potter garden, and it was so much work. He put so much effort into it. He used the top of a shoebox lid. He had dirt, garden, carrots, and I bought him little bunnies and all these little cute things. And so I ended up taking an ornament like this and gluing the bunny on, the garden sign, made like a little miniature garden on the ornament. I saved what parts I could. We had to throw the dirt part away, but I put as much as I could from it so he'd have like a permanent memory on the Christmas tree, and it worked out really well. So I am gluing a primitive star, wrapped the Dollar Tree wire around it to hold it on, and a little bit of pine underneath. Perfect primitive Christmas tree ornament. I love this one too. Let me know what you think. This next one is super fun too, and you can make a bunch of them because you're just using the Dollar Tree pom-poms. I got the bigger one and then the smaller one that they sell, and for the total cost you can get like a whole set of ornaments, and it was, I believe I did the math, it was like $3.75, and you can get, well, you have to go with the bigger pom-poms. They come in a set of 8, so you can get 8 ornaments for $3.75, which is cheaper than buying them individually. But I took a pipe cleaner, glued it at the top, and I just made a little arch around the top of the pom-pom. I glued some white buttons on the front, and then I'm taking these little sparkly pom-poms and gluing it on either side so it looks like earmuffs. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I made something similar 2 years ago, but not like this. It was something else, but I love when they wear earmuffs. I think it's so cute. And then I took this ribbon, it's just a plaid ribbon that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and make that the scarf for the neck. And I glued it this way, and then I left this in on purpose so you can see how I bent it the opposite direction like that, and then I put more glue, and then I glue it down, and then it looks like it's tied at the top instead of just crossed over, and it also gives it that nice look like it's blowing in the wind, I guess. And I took my little scissors and went ahead and sliced up into the scarf. I did put some hot glue on the back of the top of that frayed area so that it didn't keep fraying. And as you can see, I am using my hot glue to make some eyes and a mouth for this little snowman. Painted it black. Gonna glue the eyes on and then glue the mouth. And of course, I forgot to make a carrot nose, so I did that too. I made a carrot nose out of hot glue. Great method if you don't have the supplies, just use your hot glue. Super cheap and super effective. Painted that orange. Next, I used some baker's twine and tied it in a knot and decided to use that for the hanger. You can also take a needle and sew this into the pom-pom if you wanted, but I think it will be strong enough since it's super lightweight. And that's it. Look how adorable that is. This one goes out to those of you that love your DIYs fast and furious, but you actually want them to look good. You don't want them to look like a child made them. This is beautiful. These lanterns come out usually during the summer at the Dollar Tree. Grab them up when you see them because they look so high-end for a Christmas tree ornament. This definitely surpassed what I envisioned. I added some silver metallic paint because I just wanted to change it up a little bit because I have a lot of white on my tree already. And then I'm using this little velvet ribbon here from Temu, super cheap. I'm showing you too because it frays. A trick you can do when using flame doesn't work, because sometimes flame, if you melt the ends, will work a little bit, is you just add such a small amount of hot glue and you just tap it with your finger and that will stop your ribbon from fraying or getting stringy. I added some pine and then also these bells that were really small from Temu. I'm showing you at the top with a wire cutter. I'm going to go ahead and snip it off because I'm going to use these like berries. And I wanted to keep this really minimalist and clean because the lantern itself is so beautiful, so I didn't want to distract too much, but I still wanted to add a little bit of embellishment. So I put 3 on. And we're done. That's it. It even has a hanger. I think this looks so awesome. And of course you can make the lantern whatever color you want and they turn on and off. Look at that. Are those not awesome for your Christmas tree? I love these. So for this next one, just grab your favorite photo. I'm using this vintage Santa from Temu and one of the palette signs from the Dollar Tree. I'm choosing to tear it around the edge so it doesn't have a perfect border, but you could skip that. You don't have to do that. And once I got it where I liked it, I put it down and I'm going to go ahead and use some Mod Podge to Mod Podge it down. I'm using my finger here too. I didn't even use a brush, you guys, because it was such a small amount. I thought, you know what, we're just going to use a finger, forget it. Glued it down, and then I used my heat gun to speed up the drying time. Now I'm taking my utility knife and we're going to cut the imagery away from the line on the palette. So it just looks like it's on the palette, you know what I mean? It doesn't, I thought it looked weird. You can leave it if you want. And I kind of wish I did, and you'll see why in a minute. After I was done cutting it, I went ahead and took a nail file and just cleaned up the edges, used some more of the Dollar Tree wire, the black wire, and I went ahead and I I'm really in love with the Dollar Tree wire this season. I don't know why. I'm using a lot of it, but I think it looks so cute. And of course I did my little curly cubes behind it just for extra decor. Added some Mod Podge on the top, but you see how it did take out a little bit of the Santa's face. So I wish I had moved him over more to the left. And the way I can remedy that, I think, is just to use sandpaper and really sand more of the image off. Beat up the palette a little bit, make it look like an antique. It still looks Christmassy. I love it. I'm going to hang it up, but I recommend you either are careful about where you place the face, or you kind of stay away from images that have faces and just stick with like Christmas scenery or a Christmas tree or a candy cane, things that aren't so critical. But I love the idea. I love the way this came out. I just went ahead and added some embellishment on the top to kind of look like reindeer antlers out of pine, and we're all done. For this next one, I am using some of the ticking stripe material that I've used in previous DIYs. This one comes from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to cut it and tear it so it frays a little bit. And thank you to the subscriber who reminded me of that. I totally forgot that you can cut and tear. I did that for years, and it left my brain for the last 4 years. I don't know why, but thank you for reminding me. Duh, that's an easy way to get your material to fray. All joking aside though, thank you so much for reminding me. Anyway, I am taking a craft stick, just cutting it kind of edgy and crooked on purpose. I don't want a perfect little craft stick, and pointy at the top. And we're just going to make little loops like bows and glue them on the top. That's it. You've probably seen this done with ribbon, but I really thought it would look pretty with the ticking stripe, because this is definitely for those of you that love country or farmhouse or like, again, primitive. This one is a good one for you. So I did end up taking the furniture pen from the Dollar Tree and staining the trunk just kind of haphazardly. And then I didn't want to stain the fabric, though. I don't know why. You could if you're into that. I added a snowflake, but here's what I did. I ended up putting berries and pine on. And now when I'm watching this along with you guys, I'm thinking, oh, I should have just maybe put the berries and pine on only and not put the snowflake, or maybe just the snowflake. I'm leaning towards the berries and pine only and removing the snowflake. Let me know what you guys think, or if you think I should just leave it. I definitely need to hear from all of my YouTube friends on this one. I'm using one of the Dollar Tree scarecrow hats that you find at the Dollar Tree. They come 3 to a pack during fall. I save them for my snowman crafts, and I'm painting it black. I'm using some of these wood cubes. I had a great idea for these, and unfortunately I never got around to it, but this is also a really great idea. So we're going to do this one. And I painted it white, did a snowman face with pencil first, took my markers, same thing, you guys, you know the drill, and I filled it in black. And I'm going to use, for this one I use paint on the nose. I don't use the permanent marker because I want it to be softer, but I do use the permanent marker for the eyes and the mouth. Ooh, I added some little eyebrows too. I forgot about that. I wanted this one to have personality, and I took some white paint and just put little dots in the eyes there to bring them to life, and some paint for the nose. Glued the hat on, and then we're going to go ahead and decorate the hat with some berries and pine. Now these are the Dollar Tree foam berries, which I do have to use on my smaller crafts because they're smaller, so when I cut them off they often will show some of their foam, like the white foam underneath. And a quick little hack for me is just using permanent red marker or red paint, either one. In fact, it makes it look kind of better because it kind of gives it like dimension and shine. Just added some pine and berries, but you can make a whole little set with those wooden cubes of snowmen. I think it would be so great. And all I did was take some of the Walmart twine, tie it in a really tight knot, and glued it on the top of the hat. But think about all the cute variations you could do of snow people using these cubes, and they look just as high end as buying them individually because they're wood. I love this one. If you enjoyed this video, here are some more I think you'll enjoy watching next.